the different types of business organizations. So here the emphasis is to learn about the three basic types of business organizations. But as you are able to see on the screen that we have three topics here: sole proprietorship, joint Hindu family business, and cooperative society. But for this academic year, because of COVID, the board has decided to delete joint Hindu family business from our syllabus. So our focus will be in this particular session to discuss about sole proprietorship. So the topic what we are going to discuss is sole proprietorship. So let us discuss about sole proprietorship. Here, what we are going to discuss is, first we'll try to understand what are the different forms of business organizations, and then we are going to learn and study about sole proprietorship. To start with, it's very important to know the meaning of different forms of business organization. What do we mean by forms of business organization? That is most essential part. So, when we bring all the resources together and put them in a systematic way so as to control and coordinate all the business activities, that particular setup is called as business organization. And whatever we are going to arrange the business on the basis of ownership and management, that we call it as forms of business organization. So here we take the opportunity to learn about different types of business organizations, which we classify into three groups, as you are able to see on the screen. First, we call it as private undertakings, then we have the public undertakings, and then we have joint undertakings. This is for the base. Unless we have a solid base of identifying the undertakings, we may not be able to have a good grip on the subject. For that reason, when we talk about private undertaking, under private undertaking, we have different forms of business organizations, as you can see, like sole proprietorship, partnership, joint Hindu family, your cooperative society, and joint stock company. In the similar manner, we have public undertakings like departmental undertaking, public cooperatives, and government companies. This all will be covered in the later sessions. Now our emphasis is mainly on sole proprietorship. Okay, so before that, just like for having a brief understanding, here we have the meaning of different forms of business organizations. Just an outlay I can say, where we will be able to understand through the meaning, like what do we mean by sole proprietorship, a joint Hindu family business, a partnership business, cooperative society, and joint stock company. Just if you give a glance, because we have the depth of the subject, we'll see in detail now. So now to start with, I'm going to teach you all about sole proprietorship, a very basic business organization. Let us start our topic, sole proprietorship. First, let me make it very clear, examination point of view, this is the most important topic. 100% we expect a question from this particular topic called sole proprietorship. So here I have made the chapter into 4 parts. First, we are going to have the knowledge about the meaning and definition. Second, features we learn, that is characteristics, then advantages, and then we learn disadvantages. If you look at the picture, what I have given, you can see that there is only one man. There is only one person, and this person is having a diversified fold of aspects. With this only we can understand what is the meaning of sole proprietorship. When we talk about sole proprietorship, here comes the meaning and different definitions. Okay. Now to start with, you know that sole proprietorship is a very oldest form of business organization, we can say. Oldest form of business organization. In country like India, where we have a rich heritage, in this particular country, we have the business forms of organization we had, and in that we had different forms. Among them, we had, first, frankly speaking, we had joint Hindu family business. From that, we are getting the sole proprietorship. Let me give a brief about just the joint Hindu family business, because having an idea is very important. In Telugu, we call it as Ummadi Kutumbam. Joint family is nothing but Ummadi Kutumbam, what we call in Telugu, where the people used to live together under one roof. Under one roof, the family members, I can say, of 3 generations, they used to live together and they used to conduct the business. And that business, that family, along with the business, was managed by the Karta. But as the family gets what? Bigger in size, we know generally the family gets into small parts. And as a matter, every son had his own intention to have his own business setup and all. And in that way, what happened? The joint family system started to break. And today we are having nuclear family system. That is beyond our topic. No need. So, what do we mean by a sole proprietorship? When one single individual, when he introduces the capital in the sense investment, money, what we call, in Telugu we call it as nivesham, mooladhanam also we call. That particular capital, when he introduces or invests in his business, along with his skills and talents, what we call as intelligence, and he himself, when he manages the business, we call that kind of business as sole proprietorship business. And this sole proprietorship business is having known by different names, like we call as individual proprietorship, we call as single entrepreneurship, we call. Sometimes we call it as sole trading concern also. So, this particular business, in which kind of business it suits? Generally, we see that wherever we need personalized services, like in case of beauty parlors, fashion designing, in that case, we say sole proprietorship is the most suitable form. In the similar manner, where the activities, the trading activities are of small scale basis, like kirana shop, like bookstore, like vegetable vendors we have, like that, where the area of operation is small, activities to be conducted are small. In that area, we see that the sole proprietorship is the most suitable form. Just when you look at the locality of your house, near your house, whatever we call, మీ ఇంటి వద్ద ఒకవేళ మీరు మీ లొకాలిటీలో బిజినెస్ సెటప్స్ చూస్తే కిరాణా షాప్స్ కానీ, బార్బర్ షాప్స్ కానీ, అలాంటి చిన్న చిన్న బుక్ స్టోర్స్ కానీ, అవన్నీ మనకి సొంత వ్యాపారం కింద వస్తుంది. తెలుగులో దీన్ని సొంత వ్యాపారం అంటారు. సో దట్ కైండ్ ఆఫ్ బిజినెస్ సెటప్ is called sole proprietorship. Then the person who is going to organize this kind of business, who is conducting the business activity as a sole proprietor, what we call him? we call that particular person as sole trader. We call him as a sole trader. We call trader is also known as proprietor. So we can call him as sole proprietor also. We designate him as sole proprietor also. And sometimes we call him as single entrepreneur. We call him as single entrepreneur. Like that, we have the setup called the sole proprietorship setup. Now, there are many people who gave different definitions. But generally, the most acceptable definition is given by L.H. Haney. It's not honey, it's Haney. H-A-N-E-Y. And in a very beautiful and amicable manner, he has defined this particular sole proprietorship business. And what he says? He says that it is a form of business organization. It is a form of business organization at the head of which stands as an individual as one. As one, keep in mind, soul in the sense one, not the soul which we call Atma. Here the soul is one, S-O-L-E. That soul is S-O-U-L. Generally the students, they make mistake, which I am going to cover those mistakes also here. So one person is responsible. One person is responsible. He is the one who directs and he is the one who runs the risk of the failure also. Very beautiful definition he gave, which is covering all the parts of the sole proprietorship. Based on this, we are going to see the features of this sole proprietorship. So, to have a review about the meaning is nothing but here when one individual, keep in mind, single individual, one individual, when he introduces the capital, skills and intelligence in the management of its business activities and is responsible for the results of the business. What do you mean results of the business here? Results of the business are nothing but the profit or the loss. And that setup where one individual is alone responsible for all the activities of the business, that we call it as sole proprietorship. Where it suits? Then it suits in two different areas. One where we need personalized services. Like I gave the examples of beauty parlor, fashion designing. Fashion designing is nothing but dear, it's tailoring. Okay. Nowadays we call them as fashion designers because you know what they are doing. Okay, they are designing, they are stitching only, but what you know, today the fashion trend and all are changing, so we call them as fashion designer. Beauty parlors are nothing but your saloons only. Okay, your saloons where you get haircut, where you get your shaving and all, where the ladies, they go and have their what you call facial, eyebrows and all. So personalized services we have. Like that, when it comes to the trading activities, in the sense buying and selling activities, there we see that in case like kirana shops, book vendors, vegetable stores, vegetable vendors, whatever you call. Nowadays we have polymer, okay. Then what all we have? Naturals we have, like that. They all come under sole proprietorship. Similarly, the best example I can give you on the roadside, okay. You have many chaat bhandars and all, like where you get pani puri, bhel puri and all. They also come under sole proprietorship. Having seen, now we'll see what are the different features of sole proprietorship. Now, here comes the features of sole proprietorship. If you see the features, in the sense the characteristics of sole proprietorship, we have different characteristics which we can make out. And the first character is individual initiative. Please keep in mind, individual initiative, in the sense this particular business is taken up by an individual. Initiative, in the sense the first step to start the business is taken by the individual. One individual, he creates an idea, he generates an idea in the mind, which comes automatically to him, and he takes the initiative, he takes the step to start the business. And that gives the character called single ownership. Single ownership. Single ownership means he is the one. The name itself is sole proprietor. In the sense, he is one. The person is the owner. He will be the owner of the business who will set up the business. And to start this business, we need less legal formalities. Now, sir, what are these legal formalities? What do you mean legal formalities? Legal formalities means here we need to fulfill only few formalities. To start the business, just one simple license if you obtain from the local area, whether you belong to municipality or whatever, cantonment area or whatever, from the local limits, if you take one license, that is enough to start the business. Then comes unlimited liability. Now, what do you mean unlimited liability? It is the most important feature. Most important feature called unlimited liability. Unlimited liability means the responsibility being a single owner, the liability of the owner is very unlimited. Why it is unlimited? As we told, he has to conduct the business at his risk. He has to conduct the business at his risk, we told. So, if at all there is any loss, listen carefully, if at all there is any loss in the business, then he alone has to bear that loss. Then how it became unlimited, sir? It became unlimited because that time, if he is not having enough money to repay the business loan, if at all he is not able to repay the amount from his business, then his personal assets, in the sense whatever he has at his house, that also will be attached to pay the debts of the business. That's the reason we call that it has unlimited liability. And that unlimited liability, we can say, it gives birth to another feature called motivation. It gives birth to motivation. Motivation in the sense, here a sole proprietor gets self-inspired. And because of the self-inspiration, because of self-inspiration, he is ignited, we can say. He is motivated, we can say, to work more and more because he knows that if he is not putting effort, he has to bear unlimited liability. But if he puts efforts, he will be getting more gain, and that gain will lead to give him more profits. And that profit, it motivates the person to put a step ahead. Like that motivation we have. And here comes the next feature called ownership and management. Ownership and management, they go together. They go together. There is no difference between ownership and management, we say here. Because owner and management, both are one and the same. Sole proprietor, he plays the dual role. One, he is the owner and he is the manager of the business. He need not depend on others. Generally, he won't depend on others. So, his ownership and management are one and the same. Because all the affairs of the business, he has to carry on his own. Then comes the next feature called secrecy. What do we mean by secrecy? When we talk about secrecy, being a single owner, and having less legal formalities and all, he need not disclose his top secrets of business to anyone. Okay, neither he has to show the books of accounts to anyone, nor get those books of accounts published. Whatever profit is earning or whatever loss is earning, he need not disclose about that to anyone. He can maintain the secrecy. He can maintain the top secrecy of the business, we can say. And here, the most important secret part is what? He need not publish the books of accounts. He need not show the accounts to others. That is called secrecy. Then, as we said, there is no separate legal entity. As I already taught you, that ownership and management, they go together. So here, the business and businessmen are treated as one entity only. And then comes one man control. One man control. What do we mean one man control? Here, as we know that generally there is a proverb in English, too many cooks, they spoil the soup. But here it is not applicable. In case of sole proprietorship, he is the one who manages all the activities. He manages all the affairs. He conducts all the business activities, we can say, and he is the one who controls the business. When control is given in one man, that is when it is with one, we know we can do wonders. We can do wonders. Why? Because there is no interference of other persons. Like that, we call there is one man control. And then comes the next feature called limited area of operation. Why there is limited area of operation? The reason is that he being one, he cannot depend on others for getting any sort of support. Generally, he doesn't like to take the support of others, or he may not be interested to take the support of others. The reason why he doesn't want to take the support of others is because if he takes the support of others, whatever profit he is going to get, he has to share with them in the form of salary or wages or whatever. And being the limited area of operation, small area of operations he is able to conduct, we can say because of the capital, because of the management, because of unlimited liability and all, he tries to put everything in the limited area of operation. Like that, we have the features of sole proprietorship. Generally, you expect a question like explain the features of sole proprietorship. 10 marks question you expect. First, you are supposed to write the meaning of sole proprietorship. If possible, write the definition and then give the features which are given here with brief explanation. Okay, now let us move to the next topic where we are going to see the advantages and disadvantages of sole proprietorship. Advantages and disadvantages. Another important aspect of the sole proprietorship. Now, advantages, which are also called as merits. The first merit is what? The first merit is easy to form and wind up. It's very easy to form. Whenever you think, okay, since there are no legal formalities and all, any moment you can start your business. When you feel like, sir, I want to start a business, I want to start a Pani Puri business, I want to start a Kirana shop business, it's very easy to form because no legal formalities are there. In the similar manner, whenever you want, you can wind up. Whenever you want, you can wind up in the sense you can close. You can close the business. If you don't like, you can close the business. Then comes quick decision and prompt action. Quick decisions we are telling. What do you make quick decision? Quick decisions in the sense, if at all he is supposed to take any decision regarding any business activity, quickly he takes, because he need not wait to be consulted with others. He is not waiting for anybody because he is the master, he is the owner. He takes the decision And what he'll do? Immediately when he takes the decision, prompt action will be there. In the sense, whatever decision he has taken, he will implement that as an action. Say for example, you are running a Pani Puri business, chaat bhandar what we call, chaat shop what we call, and there you were only selling Pani Puris. You were selling only Pani Puris initially. After few days, a idea came into your mind as a sole proprietor that you want to even sell along with that sandwich. Do you think, are you going to consult anyone? No need to consult anyone. You took the decision on your own, and do you think, are you going to wait for 1 week, 10 days, 15 days, 1 month? No. Immediately you will start, the very next day you will start selling even sandwich with that. Like that we call quick and prompt action. Then flexibility in operations. Flexibility in the sense, flexibility means you can change your business. Whenever you need, you can change your business. The nature of the business you can change. So, for example, here as we were telling that you have started a Pani Puri business, but you want to change. You want to bring difference. I mean, say you want to bring a change in the operations. Easily you can bring what's a change. You can shift the activities. That means direct motivation. Already in the feature we saw the direct motivation and the business secrets. Then comes the personal contact with customers. In this type of business, you will have interaction with the customers where you will be able to know what is their desire, what are their wants, and based on that you can satisfy those customers. You can satisfy those customers according to their taste, according to their desire, according to their need. You will try to give them the best. Thereby your business will flourish. Self-employment then. You need not go for employment. You need not wait for getting a job outside. You are self-employed in the sense you are the master, you are everything when you start your own business. You can get your 3 times food, in the sense livelihood you can earn because of sole proprietorship, which we call as self-employment. And as you are not appointing anyone, as you are not appointing any outsider, we say that the management is inexpensive. Very less expense are involved in managing the business. Very less expense are involved in running the business because you need not fulfill many formalities. No need of appointing the people called the employees. Like that you can save your expenses. All the work is done by the owner only. And socially desirable we call. Society point of view, where the people are having less money, where the people are having less capital, for them it is very much suitable. And then it's very easy also to raise the finance. Your family members, your friends, they help you in giving the finance and you can start your business. Like that we have advantages of sole proprietorship. In the next session, we'll see what are the demerits of sole proprietorship. We are going to learn about the next business, that is called joint Hindu family business, Ummadi Kutumbam. Now you know that Hindu family, joint Hindu family, annappudu Ummadi Kutumbam. Most of you stay in joint family. Most of us stay in joint family, I can say. So, how to define this first joint Hindu family? That is first important aspect. Then we'll see the business. When we call about Hindu undivided family, they say that when people of 3 generations, who belong to the same common ancestors, when they live together, then we call it as joint Hindu family. Here the word Hindu doesn't mean that only the person who belongs to a religion called Hindu. No. Here we even mean the Jain community, the Sikh community, all they are included under the category called Hindu families only. Because simple logic is, previously India was called as Hindustan, that's it. And this kind of family setup you find only in India. Don't expect you find this kind of family system where the parents, children, and their parents live together in America or Europe or England or wherever. No. In Western countries, we don't find this kind of setup. So, if you look at the picture which I have given, you can easily make out that in center we have the great parents, the old men, and on the side we have the other generation, that is the second generation, and along with that, if you see, you can see the third generation, the children. Like that, in a family where the people belonging to one common ancestor, when they say stay together, we call it as a joint Hindu family. And that particular family, when it is conducting any business, we call it as joint Hindu family business. We call it as joint Hindu family business. And the person, the senior most person, is called as the Karta. We call him as Karta. And this Karta is the male member, keep in mind. He will be the male member, the first male member of the family. And he is the one who is going to control entire family as well as the business. And for that reason, we describe Karta as the great grand master of the great grand show. Why we describe him as the great grand master? Nothing but he is like a Nayak. Nayakudaina. Why we call him as the great grand master of the great grand show? Managing a joint family is not so easy. Managing joint family is not that easy. It's like a show only, where we have different people, and managing the business, managing the family members, all the responsibility is with him. So we call Karta. In fact, we describe him as the great grand master of the great grand show. Then all other male members, like apart from the Karta, whoever are the male members, we call them as co-parsinas. They are called co-parsinas. Let me say, for example, if in a family, daddy is the head, and if he has 3 sons, then daddy is called as Karta and the sons are called as co-parsinas. Now, do we have joint Hindu family business still existing in India, sir? Yes. I gave you the examples like Reliance, okay, Ambani's, they belong to joint Hindu family business. Haldiram, sweets and all we have, that is also a sort of joint Hindu family business setup only. Like that Mahindra and Mahindra we have, Tata we have, Jamshedji Tata and all were there. They all were conducting the business which was under the joint Hindu family setup business only. Here, how the joint Hindu family is guided. Then we have 2 schools of thoughts. One is called Mitakshara and one is called Dayabaga school, which is actually not there in your syllabus, but having idea of this is very important. Mitakshara and Dayabaga, these are the 2 schools of thoughts about joint Hindu family system. Simple Ganalante, this is going to explain you how the family setup comes. So, here when I talk about Mitakshara school, in Mitakshara school, only the male members become the members of the family. And whatever property is there of the joint family, that particular property is the property of the family, not of the individual. And when the father, that is the Karta, the first male member, when he expires, that time there can be the partition of the family. As long as father is there, generally there won't be any partition in the family. And this kind of school of thought, in the sense law, we follow it in all the states of India except Assam and West Bengal. Whereas in Assam and West Bengal, we follow Dayabaga school rule, where even we give preference to the female members. Even the female members, they become the members of the family, they call. And here, father is the sole owner of the joint property. And as long as father is existing, no member can enforce the partition of the family. There cannot be the partition of the family. Whereas, in case of Mitakshara, I told you, partition can be there even during the lifetime of the father or after the death of the father. So what you can say in one word, in Mitakshara school, every person will get share in the property. Whereas in Dayabaga school, the share of property will remain constant. It will come to the person by achieving the throne, we can say. In the sense, as long as your father is existing, the son will not get the right on the property. After the father dies, the first son will get the right on the property. As long as first son is existing, the second son will not get the right on the property. Like that, we have Mitakshara and Dayabaga school. Just for reference, we are going to see that. Then, what are the features of this particular joint family system? We have the formation. This particular joint family business, it is formed according to the act of Hindus Act, Succession Act we call. It is formed by the Hindu Succession Act, and all the members, whoever are the persons who are born in the family, are the members of the joint family. Keep in mind. And if at all you adopt a child, even legally when you adopt, that person becomes the member of the family. Apart from that, when a woman marries a male person, she also becomes the member of the family. Then, as I said, it is governed by Hindu law. Management is in the hands of only one person, that is Karta. All other persons called co-partners will be a kind of help to the Karta. Then profit sharing. Here the profits are shared by each and every individual according to the share. Decisions can be taken quickly. Like that, we have the joint Hindu family system. Of course, this is not the topic which is there, but still, to have an idea, we have just touched the topic. Okay, so just have an idea. You can have a glance on the slide so that you will have a clear-cut idea. Have a nice day, everyone. Thank you. God bless you all.